Hello everyone, welcome back to another YouTube channel video on my Invisible 11th Man channel. Today, well, since there's not much to do out in quarantine, obviously in the lockdown, everyone's staying at home and no one's allowed to really go outside. Um, Today we're just going to talk about, I guess, something that I have come across quite quite personally, honestly. Something I think a lot of people deal with nowadays, which is coping with stress. Coping with stress is such a difficult thing to do, and I would understand firstly from my standpoint as a young boy, as a young guy who just turned 18, who's now basically trying to take a step into the working world as an adult. Um, it's so hard. It's so hard nowadays because there's so much kind of expectation upon people, especially people people my age and even younger. There's so much expectation for them to kind of carry us on into the future and embark on different things that some of us might not have come up with. And so the society expectation, like the social expectation upon all of our shoulders as students, as young adults, as as people in the education system, it's so tough. And so I come across this very often, and I could only basically relieve most of the stress by basically leaving school and then doing other things outside of that and working my way towards basically a similar education towards the well, compared to some of my friends who are still in school. And so dealing with stress is a major thing in anyone's life, even people older than us, like working, who are still working, managing their family, trying to keep up some sort of at least stable income to take care of everyone, especially now that we're in quarantine. Everyone's basically at work, laid off, except for like the frontline workers, which is firemen, policemen, nurses, doctors, and all that stuff. Those people are still working. Everyone else is basically laid off or like not allowed to work at all, and it's still very tough for everyone. I mean, even for myself, who was trying to find a job. Um, it's even harder to find a job now because everyone's trying to get back into the working world as soon as possible, as soon as the quarantine is finished. And so stress is a very impactful thing upon anyone else, upon anyone, not just myself, but anyone in general. And um, me personally, I had to take a different way of going about it, and eventually it's helped me a lot. I mean, I still deal with stress, but I mean, I think everyone else does. But at the same time, I think I've taken off so much stress off my shoulders. It's been a lot easier for me to kind of uh, move on and learn freely and be able to kind of just be myself, I guess, and uh, do things I want to do. Now, stress, comes in many forms. It can do many things to people. It can make people break down. It can cause them basically just a wave of emotions through people that just make them shut down for a bit. It can cause people to like not think straight. I guess it's just kind of messing up their thinking process. And it could even cause like kind of physical exhaustion as well. I've come across with that as well. And so these mental battles with ourselves, this stress that we get from the workload, the expectations we set up for ourselves, not just the society or our parents or anything else. It's just ourselves. We also set ourselves expectations, because we are human. We want to improve ourselves. We want to be better than everyone else, but at the same time, sometimes you have to come to accept that you are special and good in your own way. And sometimes I didn't understand that at the time. And going through school, going through high school as well, I always wanted to strive to be better than everyone else, but at the same time, I was not, because I was not capable of doing things that other people could do much better than I did. Especially in the most academic levels. I was never an academic person. I was never the smartest kid in the block. I was never always the best kind of person throughout all the academic subjects, like sciences, histories, geographies, English, math as well. Even though I think I did well in math. I was not anywhere near the level of some of the people I know, some of the friends I know. I was definitely nowhere near that level of academic education. And so It's not because I didn't do tutoring, I didn't try hard enough, or it's just whatever. It was just my capabilities, and maybe if I pushed myself harder, then maybe I could have done better. But I couldn't because I couldn't stress myself any further. Some people at school look at me, or when I was at school, look at me and say, "Hey, your life is it's not that stressful. I've got 7 subjects, I've got tutoring, I've got work after this as well. I've got other things." I'm like, "Yeah, your life may be hard compared to mine. Mine looks easy and everything," but at the same time, me having gone through so much kind of so much mental stuff in my head when I was growing up. I mean, other people have as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I've had the hardest life in general, but me as a growing person, I never really had kind of the people I needed to look up to. I never really had the person to kind of guide me towards the right way. I kind of just lived life how I pictured it and how I wanted it to, which was as free as possible, doing whatever the hell I wanted and whatever the hell I enjoyed. While also not caring too much about it, while also not worrying about the academic stuff, because my natural abilities would just carry me through. But when I got to high school, I realized that wouldn't happen anymore. That couldn't work. But I tried to escape that reality. I tried to put myself in another reality, which I created in my head, which allowed me to have fun all the time, which allowed me to go out, do everything I wanted, and then come back home and just rest. And then next thing I'll go to school again and just do it all again. But at the same time, the workload of homework, study, and all that stuff, like the tests, the bookwork and everything, I couldn't keep up with it because I kept on kind of neglecting it. And so I just didn't want to face the harsh reality of I couldn't. I just couldn't take care of it. I couldn't manage my time. I couldn't manage myself, to be fair. And so I'm not saying my life was the hardest out of everyone in the school. Some other people definitely had it harder than I did, but at the same time, me personally, I am not a very strong guy mentally or physically. I've had many problems mentally and physically. I used to be sick all the time when I was younger. I've had many physical injuries through my soccer career, and also just in my life in general. I used to fall over, trip around, skin my knees, and just scrape my elbows and everything, and always kind of hurt myself in some way. And also mentally, I just never thought. I never really took many things to heart because I never really kind of cared. I don't know. I personally just didn't know what to think of everything. I was just kind of living the way I thought life would go, which was just me going through school, going through that, the normal process of just going through elementary school and then going through high school and then going into university and then going to the working world. That's how life was dictated for me. That's how I thought it was gonna go. But I know the harsh reality is no, that's not exactly how it gonna work. That's not the process you go through. There are things you have to do for that process to work out, and some things didn't turn out right for me. I had a lot of kind of problems throughout high school. I'm not gonna say too much about them, but I had a lot of problems through that. I've had many good memories there. I had so many good friends as well. I still rely on and trust on to this day. I still talk to, but at the same time, I did lose a few friends. I did lose some time of basically myself due to some people that have unfortunately now left my life, and so it was something I didn't really understand at the time. But now I still love the school. Trust me, I really do. Like, there's so many great people there. There's so many good teachers over there. I still want to talk to them. I still want to see them. But at the same time, it just wasn't the right place for me. It wasn't the right environment for myself. So I decided to take the step back and say, hey, I'm gonna take a different path towards my goal than everyone else, because it just wasn't the right fit for me. Now I'm saying that is not. It doesn't work for everyone. It doesn't. The pathway through like primary school, elementary school, whatever you call it, and then through high school, and then going to university or college or whatever. That doesn't always work for everyone. It doesn't suit everyone, because there's so many academic expectations now towards young students like us, that we have to get a certain, like, I guess like a certain respective amount of, I guess, grades and marks and everything, and if we don't reach those expectations, then we get told, hey, you're gonna have to stay back and redo it again just to try and get the thing that you want to do. And I said, hey, I can't take that pressure. That stress is too much for me. So at the end of year 11 and the beginning of year 12, I decided to say, hey, I'm gonna leave now. I tried. I can't take it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Some part of it is on me, me not being able to manage my time, and not being able to live up to my own expectations and also the school's expectations. That is on me, but at the same time, the workload I thought was just too much for myself in general. I just couldn't take it. It was just too much on me. Plus, I had so much stuff on my brain and like in my mind weighing on me, and there's so much pressure and stress on my shoulders. I couldn't take it anymore, and so that's when I decided I wanted to leave. But I know friends who have left before I did, because they couldn't take the stress of it anymore. So I mean, stress is something that everyone deals with, everyone goes through at some point in life, and they still carry it on through for a while until even maybe retirement or something. But stress is something that's so hard to kind of talk to people about because you don't want to show weakness. People nowadays don't want to show weakness. We as humans, we don't want to show ourselves as weak because we want to be strong, to lead people, to show people that we are strong, we are brave, we are courageous, we are allowed to, we can do things on our own. But there are times when you have to kind of look back and be like, hey, I need someone to talk to. I need friends. I need just someone to talk to. And I was in that position at one point. I said, hey, there's so much stuff on my mind right now, but I'm not gonna tell anyone about it because I don't want to impact their lives. Uh, because they've got more successful lives than I do, like more successful paths than I do, and I don't want to impact that. I don't want to ruin that. But me talking to a couple of them, a very important few of them, made me realize that maybe I can rely on them. Maybe not everyone, but a few. And I can tell a few of them about my problems and about kind of what's going on in my head. And after that, I got suggested to go to a counselor, and then I've been doing counseling since then, and that's really helped me get back on track and kind of move my mind back onto the right path. And I'm not saying counseling's for everyone. I'm saying everyone should open up immediately to people, because sometimes your friends can't take that information immediately, and they have to sit back and maybe not speak for like a week or something. But everything takes time. Everything just takes time. Now you have to tell the people that you trust the most with this information. That's the problem. And you also have to ask them. It's like, hey, are you okay listening to this? Because you have to make sure they are able to cope with that and also move on with their lives, not just helping you with yours. They need to be able to take care of themselves as well. And this is advice coming from both sides. I have been on both sides. I have been someone who's listened to someone and tried to, no, not exactly, but told them I will be there for them. But I've also been on the other side where it's like I need someone to say I will be there for you, and I've been on both sides. Yeah, it was a very tough predicament on both sides. Like there are so many things that I hear. There were so many things I heard from a few friends that was so tough. And sometimes I had to kind of tell them, hey, I'm just gonna stop you there for a bit. I had to take all this in to absorb it, and it's just basically them unloading their stress upon you because they got something on their mind, they got something they want to get off their chest, and relieving that stress is very important. Uh, and there are so many ways to do it. There are ways that I do it, which is basically doing things I love and enjoy, which is basically going out for a jog or just kicking a ball around for like half an hour on the soccer field, which I can't do now because of quarantine. But doing that is so helpful to me. Me listening to music and then just kicking a ball around is just amazing to me. It just helps me cope. It makes me move. It makes me think about different things. It just gets me moving, gets me active. Reading a book is also fine. to me sometimes because I love reading. I haven't read a lot in a while, but I still love reading. I love stories, and I love seeing people's creations because I am still learning and everything. And then I also video gaming as well. I love video games, and I play those every now and then just to kind of release some stress and just enjoy myself for a bit, be able to laugh, maybe with a couple of friends or with my sisters just playing, and then just doing whatever I can to do so, or just talking to people, talking to friends, just having a good chat, just talking to some good mates or just some close friends that I know that I can trust and rely on. It's so helpful to kind of get that off your chest, or maybe just not even getting the stuff off your chest. It's just kind of like just moving it to the back of your mind and just saying, hey, that's tomorrow's problem. I'm gonna focus on today. I'm gonna enjoy myself today, or I'm gonna enjoy my time with this person or this thing for that period of time, so that I can focus on that for now and leave that behind. And that is so helpful, I think, to anyone. And I think this might help you guys as well, because using this information is so important, basically. And I mean, relieving stress is just such an important thing that everyone, I think, should do. So, I mean, I think I've ranted for long enough. I mean, if you want more of this, I'll think about it. But no, stress is a tough thing, and I completely understand. I mean, surely everyone's still going through it today, and I mean, especially now because quarantine's a thing, and I'm sure all of my friends who are still in school are stressing about what's going to happen with the test and stuff and everything. But at the same time, I just have to be there for them, have to support them as much as I can, and tell them, hey, I'll be here for you if you need it. So, thank you guys for watching. I know this is a long rant video. I always do long rant videos, but anyways, that's the end of today. I'll talk to you guys next time.